Hey friend, welcome back to Chronic Health Solutions. I want to talk to you about something that you've probably experienced, and that is where you used to be able to power through and just get things done. And now maybe you're noticing that even the smallest task is leaving you feeling drained. And you're probably thinking, what is going on? In today's episode, we're going to talk about why your body isn't letting you push through anymore and what it's trying to tell you to do instead. We're going to learn how to respond with compassion, not frustration when you experience this, and then also learn how to finally work with your body instead of working against it. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to Chronic Health Solutions. If you're more than just a tired mom, I'm talking trying to make it through the day without crashing by noon, you're not alone. I'm Ashley, a wife, mom, and certified health coach. I have been where you are, battling chronic health symptoms and chronic illness, things like brain fog, joint pain, and fatigue that made me wonder if I'd ever feel like myself again. After uncovering root causes like stress, poor sleep, and hormone imbalance, I found simple health routines to begin to feel better, one simple habit at a time. Keeping up with your kids is not impossible. Pop in your earbuds and take a break from the chaos. It's you time. I remember sitting at my kitchen table after the kids were finally in bed thinking, why do I still feel like this? I was doing healthy things, trying to eat better, taking the right supplements, but no matter how many early bedtimes or green smoothies I threw at it, I still woke up tired. I still had brain fog. I still felt like I was pushing through quicksand just to get through the day. And honestly, I started to believe that maybe this was just how life was going to always be. This was just my new normal, until I learned what was actually keeping my body stuck, how stress, inflammation, and chronic burnout were all tangled together and really adding to my chronic illness symptoms. After finally feeling better, I reverse engineered what I had changed, and now I want to help you do the same in my Conquer Chronic Symptoms Challenge. It's a free, live 1-hour challenge where I will teach you how to gently reset your stress, reduce fatigue, and lift brain fog using a simple daily habit roadmap. If you have been craving something that's simple, doable, and actually works for moms like us, then come join me. You can sign up at conquer.ashleybraden.com, or you can find the link in the show notes below. I'll see you inside. Okay, friend, I have a question for you. Have you ever caught yourself thinking things like, why can I not get it together? Or maybe you're thinking, I used to be able to handle this and now I can't. Or maybe you're thinking, I don't know why everything feels so hard for me right now. I just want to encourage you, if you're experiencing this, you are not weak, you're not lazy, and you're not failing. Your body is just done pushing through. And really, it knows it, and it's telling you, I cannot push through anymore. When we have lived in survival mode for far too long, running on stress hormones, hustle energy, and then just basically sheer willpower, there comes a point when the body says no more. And that is not a problem, even though it feels like it in the moment. It really is an invitation to slow down and to rest. So let's talk about it. You know, I used to pride myself on being able to just get it done. Like I was a get it done person, go, 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 push, push, push. I could push through pain, exhaustion, sickness, you name it. And I mean, I still have that tendency, but what I have realized and discovered for myself, and what I noticed a pattern in my life being, that I would push, 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 go, go, go. I've talked about this before. And then I would crash for days. So I would push myself really too hard and then crash for 3 days afterwards. And I just discovered it wasn't worth it anymore to have to overexert myself and push myself farther than my body was able to handle and then pay for it for days on end. And eventually, what I also noticed was that push through, it wasn't working anymore because, you know, I would push, 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 and then I would crash, which was a sign that, hey, this is not working for my body. Eventually, I would get to the point where I couldn't get out of bed without being in intense pain, or maybe I was just completely exhausted. My brain would shut down halfway through the day. I would crash in the afternoon. And it would get to the point where I was having joint pain, inflammation, and just basic, simple tasks were beginning to feel impossible to complete whenever I was in that crash mode. And I really did feel broken. I felt like, okay, what is going on? I used to be able to do this. The things I used to do, I can't do anymore. But then I realized, okay, this is not weakness. This is not something wrong with me. It was just my body sending me a message that it was done being ignored and it was done being pushed. So let's really talk about why this happens and what we can do instead. So you might be wondering, why can't I push through anymore? And I want to share a few different reasons. One, we talk about this a lot on the podcast, chronic stress, which is when you're having those chronic cortisol spikes. Okay, then when you're having that chronic high cortisol, it's going to cause nervous system dysregulation. Nervous system dysregulation is really just a state where your body is stuck in a constant state of survival mode, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And so you're continuing on this. You have the chronic stress, which is raising your cortisol levels, which is dysregulating your nervous system. And eventually your brain and your body, they communicate with each other and just say, hey, I can't keep doing this. This is not safe. This is not manageable. Something has to change. And you may start to notice when you get to that point that you begin to feel exhausted after a simple task. You might feel maybe more moody, emotionally fragile. You might feel more emotionally sensitive. Just generally, you might even feel a little bit more down. You just don't feel like yourself. You might also notice that you feel a little bit more disconnected from your body, and you'll notice that your body is resisting the effort that you're putting out to get things done like you did before. This is just your body and your nervous system trying to protect you because it realizes we cannot continue like this any longer. So here are a few things that your body is asking for when you are in that state. The first thing that it wants is rhythmic rest, not random crashes. Cue what I was talking about earlier, where I would have the random crashes because I pushed too hard. And, we might be tempted to think, okay, well, I had the crash, but I rested for 3 days, so my body got what it needed in that rest cycle. But really, that is not the best thing for our body. If we can create habitual, rhythmic rest, that is what our body needs. We really need to build in these predictable pauses, like a mid-morning reset, an afternoon stretch, and maybe an early evening with like your nighttime wind down routine. These consistent things are going to tell your body over and over again every single day that it does not have to crash in order to get rest. And we really do need to train our bodies and our nervous system to know that we are safe and that, again, we are going to meet the needs that our body has, which one of those being rest. So every time we can consistently plug in those little 5-minute breaks or those 5-minute rests or taking care of our body, making sure we're getting enough sleep, it's just going to help to reinforce that positive cycle of your body knowing and understanding that you are safe and that you're going to take care of it the way it needs to be taken care of. Okay, number 2 would be nervous system regulation before motivation. Now, this can look like something like this. Maybe you have something that you really need to get done. You need to do some kind of a big push thing, but before you get started, you're going to regulate your nervous system first. This could be taking deep breaths. It could be getting outside and, getting out in nature, praying, having a little bit of time to refresh. It could be like a 5-minute reset, anything like that. And the goal is we're not going to wait for energy. We're just going to create that safety in our body. Again, we're telling our body, I'm going to give you what you need. And then what I have noticed is whenever I make that time to regulate my nervous system, make sure I'm in a good space in that area, that a lot of times the energy and the motivation will follow after that. Whereas, if I'm in a state where my nervous system is dysregulated, that's where it comes to the point of me really having to push in order to get stuff done. Whereas if I would just slow down, take 5 to 10 minutes to make sure I am regulated, my nervous system, my body feels safe. And if I'll take that, then a lot of times that extra energy comes for me. And I feel more motivated to actually do the stuff that I need to do throughout my day. Okay, number 3 would be to have gentle output that's going to match gentle input. And what that means is basically you want to do less, move slower, prioritize like a slower, relaxed pace. And this, I think, is very hard to do if you are very much a task-oriented person or a driven person. And I'm not saying that you have to do this all the time, every single day. If we can create intentional chunks of time where we're doing this, where we're saying, okay, I'm going to spend an hour where I'm not going to be making sure that I'm completing everything on my to-do list or trying to do three things at once because I'm trying to tackle everything I need to get done. If we can instead say, for this next hour, I'm going to be really intentional about maybe I am getting stuff done, but I'm choosing to do it at a slower pace. I'm not going to be rush, push. I'm going to be really slow and intentional while I'm doing those things. So it could look like the mix of that. Maybe you do have a little bit of a chunk of time where you are saying, I'm slowing down, I'm doing less, I'm moving slower, I'm going to get my stuff done, but I'm going to do it at this pace. Then you might also have those times that I was talking about, those rhythmic rest times where you're saying, okay, this chunk of time is where I'm actually focusing on resting. Again, the same thing here is we're trying to train our nervous system that it's not running from a bear or a tiger or something like that. And a lot of times when we are running throughout our day, rushing from one thing to the next, that is what our body, it doesn't know the difference. And so our nervous system is on high alert because it thinks there's an emergency going on, where if we can really take the time to slow down, move at a slower pace, then it can give our bodies that signal that everything is okay, nothing's on fire, everything is good. You can calm down and come back out of that fight or flight state. Okay, so this week I want you to try something that might feel a little bit insane or radical to you. And that is whenever you feel your body reaching kind of the limit or kind of the breaking point where you're like, oh, I probably should stop or I probably should rest. Instead of pushing through, take a minute to pause instead. And then ask yourself, what would it look like to really listen to what my body is needing right now in this moment without guilt? And then try to do something along those lines. Do something where you're either doing that routine rest, or you are making sure your nervous system is regulated before you push to do more things, or you're taking the intentionality to slow down your pace as you're going about your day, do things slower, and just be a little bit more intentional with not pushing yourself. But it could also look something like, hey, I really need to go outside for 5 minutes, or I need to drink a glass of water. It could be that I need to move my body for a little bit. Really just pay attention to what is going on when you've reached that breaking point. And instead of following the habit that I know I have experienced in the past, and I know so many of you have as well, of pushing yourself through, which you know is going to end in a crash, let's stop and say, what can I do differently this time? And then just see what happens. I would love to know if you do this. Come share with us over in our Facebook community, or you can email me or message me on social media and share with me what happened whenever you chose to intentionally stop whenever your body has reached that breaking point and instead do something that would be nourishing to it. I will have all of my links down in the show notes below. You can come join us over there. I also just want to encourage you to remember that your body is not made to live in a chronic state of stress, of that fight or flight. You were not made to earn your worth or feeling like you're enough through pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion. It's okay to take a rest. It's okay to rest. It's okay to take care of your body before you and it breaks down. And if you're not sure how to do this in real everyday life, come join us over in our Conquer Chronic Symptoms Challenge. It's going to be free, live this week. And you can join us at conquer.ashleybraden.com. I would love to hang out with you guys there. And just remember, you are not falling apart. Your body is not falling apart. You're just beginning to realize and really understand what it needs. And it's great that you're to the point where you're understanding, hey, what I'm doing is not working and I need to do something different. And you're willing to take those steps to give your body what it needs so that you can finally heal and begin to feel better again. And that is exactly what we want. So I hope this episode has been helpful for you. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back next time. Hey friend, I hope you found today's episode helpful. If you did, would you take a minute to share it with another mom who's struggling with chronic symptoms? And leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It means the world to me to know this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to go tackle those snack requests, and remember that a short walk, even if the kids turn it into a race, still counts as self-care. Keep chasing those little wins. Even when it feels messy, you're making progress. The information shared in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health routine. I'm not a doctor, and this podcast is not intended to treat or diagnose any condition. You're the expert on your body. Listen to it and reach out to a trusted provider for support.